Welcome, welcome. All right, we're on Axie Chat 43. Excited to be here. Man, what a week. Axie just keeps rolling along, man. It's incredible.
There's definitely no shortage of news. And honestly, a quick little, well, maybe not an announcement for me. A lot of people in the audience already know, but I've got a baby coming. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it
Congrats.
this week, and honestly, the next couple weeks, you might need to find a co-host, a temporary co-host for a few weeks to keep things interesting. Um, yeah, man. Today got a little sketchy. We thought we might have to make an emergency run to the hospital. I have a feeling it's going to hold off for another week or two. But um, yeah, man. It's kind of cool to be welcoming a new Axie fan into the family. I really want them to get those plushies out so I can, get them into the world with a nice little Axie.
I love it, man. Enjoi Jr., little ball of Axie joy, man. It's going to be awesome. Do you know, are you having a little boy, a little girl?
Little boy, yeah, that's funny.
Uh,
Somebody in chat said, "I wonder what those R1s and R2s look like." Yeah, man, I'm excited to find out myself. The last one looks is a nice mix, but it could go either way.
man, it's so exciting. Well, way to go. Congrats on the successful, outcome. That's so cool.
I thought you were gonna say breeding.
I was gonna, but
Anyway,
I didn't. I couldn't decide if. Uh,
oh, is that inappropriate for this?
right,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Uh,
I don't know, man. So thanks for the subs, everybody. You guys are so great. We love this Axie fam. We're just gonna keep plugging along. Yeah, if Enjoy has to take a break for a couple weeks or something, it'll be all right. We'll figure it out, and we'll keep on going. This has
you
just
you
become,
never know. I might need to run out mid-episode. We
yeah,
don't know. We're that close.
it's
Hey,
exciting, man.
before it's super exciting. Before we get going, real quick, just big props. Shout out to Top Doug for rolling us in this morning or this
Yeah,
evening, whatever. I mean, what we're worldwide, any time of the day. Top Doug 38. Great job, man.
yeah.
We got Tucci after the show. Tucci 2001. These Axie nights have just been a big success. I'm glad everybody's having fun with them.
So excited about it. Glad to see the love spreading too. Always good to see content creators having success. It's just wonderful. We love supporting him, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But I'm pretty sure I saw. I haven't had a chance to tune into it yet, but I saw that there's another podcast. So that gives YCB us another one. We've got Axie Arena.
The
I mean,
arena, yep.
so cool. I love it. I love having options, man. It's so cool. And
Whole
JJ,
community's blowing up. It's just awesome. Like,
thanks
you
for the
know,
subs, JJ. Yeah.
it feels good to have all these people watching. It feels good to, be recognized when you jump into different discords. But what's so cool is seeing like, Bryce popping up there,
Yeah.
Dave versus Axie, all these people who jumped in and did a show early on with us, are just getting super popular. I don't think it's because of us, but
No, no.
the CTG guys are just blowing up in
Yep.
their own right. And it's really cool, and just a lot of people like making a name for themselves. It's really neat.
I love it. And the arena, the tournaments, they keep going on and on too. It's good to see that stuff happening. Yeah, there's been a little bit of, it's funny. Anytime we have something good going on, there's always going to be some drama here and there. Sounds like there may be a little bit of drama with some of the scholarship tournaments, and guys, let's keep things pure. I mean, if it's supposed to be for scholars, like let's let the scholars do it. There's no real it's not really awesome to jump in if you're a competitive person with like a super competitive team that you designed yourself and you beat scholar teams. I mean, that would be expected. So I mean, some things like that, let's just try to keep the space clean, and do our best to keep it a good family, uplifting, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, thanks for the hype train, guys. I'm gonna get off. Man, we are so very thankful for the support that we get from this great community. Thanks so much. Golly, it, so cool. Thank you, and let's keep on going. I'm just real grateful. Thanks everybody. All right, just remember everybody, this is not financial advice. I'll let the little disclaimer run. Let's see if we can get it to happen this time.
Legal,
there we go.
Investment, financial, or other advice. We have no responsibility for your decisions and are not game devs, and our opinions could be flawed.
There we go. Hey, it actually worked pretty good. There we go. Okay, so look, welcome to the public stream. So excited. We do want to remind everybody we do an exclusive stream to people who hold our access passes. We got neat news coming pretty soon about the quarterly pass that should be on its way fairly soon. Everybody knows there's a new quarter coming, right?
It's coming up, 15 days. So yeah, I think we should probably have some more info public about that next week, and maybe we'll even give out a leak later tonight to some of the people in our private chat.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I just want to say big shout out to the entire community. Again, I don't want to get too deep into this, but you guys have given us a lot of love. We've come a long way in the last, God, it's almost been, 9 months now? This is getting insane. And honestly, the way that, I think we've been looking at like 12% week over week growth. It's just been, it's been cool. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's just been absolutely incredible for the whole space, and we appreciate it very much for our little Axie Chat show that we've been doing now. Gal, it's getting closer and closer. I can't believe it. We're going to hit a year here, and we're just going to be like, well, we hit a year. Let's just keep on going. Here we go.
We got to do like some giveaways, maybe have a party.
Man,
it's going to be a big deal. Got to start looking ahead. Anyways,
Red Solo Cup, right? You know that song, right?
There you go. You gonna sing it for us?
Red Solo Cup. I feel you.
Oh my God.
Proceed to party. All right,
guys,
here we
go. We gotta move into the news. Stop the singing. Oh my God, hit the slide. Let's go.
Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about some community stuff. You actually hit Dave vs. Axie. I love what he's up to. It's so cool. We've had him a couple times, right? On either the pre-show or the post-show. I can't remember, but such a great job. Really hitting something important too, this day one scholar guide. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are getting scholarships, and congrats to you if you're getting them. That's wonderful. I know there's a lot of people who wish they could get them, and I think there's going to be solutions coming. It might not be tomorrow, so just kind of hang in there as Axie continues to grow. Options are going to continue to grow, and things are it's going to be good all the way around. Like, I think that we'll get to the point where everybody who wants to play Axie, there eventually will be options there. At least that's my hope. I hope that it happens that way. So, day one scholar guide. What a great idea, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Real quick while we're on this, geez, you know what? You lost me because Jiho also launched the Content Creator Bible today, and I got things mixed up. Guys, the scholar guide, this thing that Dave's doing. Pay attention to that. If you want to start creating content around Axie, catering your content towards these people who are jumping into scholarships, because a lot of times they're coming in without the research, they're coming in without the knowledge that a lot of other people are doing before they're making that initial investment, and they just want to do the best they can, be the most efficient that they can and get the most out of their time and their energy during that day. Guys, the amount of content that's being chewed up in that scholarship niche right now is insane. If you want to again, make a name for yourself or start working on
get some followers, subscribers,
or
all that,
whatever, dude, it's getting eaten up. I can tell you from personal experience. So just throwing that out there.
Well, I love seeing Bryson and the love that he's given to his community of scholars. It's really a beautiful thing. And I have some scholars, and much love to the scholars that I have too. Really, really proud of you. Appreciate everything that you guys do. I like this Panda Pops stuff. She's got a couple of videos out, and I thought they were awesome. So I wanted to give a shout out to Panda Pops. Keep up the good work. I love seeing different takes on everything. That's why we're so supportive of creativity in this space. We want to see different approaches. Like, that's one of the great things about decentralization in my mind, is as you create things, as things get put up, it's supported or not supported, right? And so things that get supported, and we love encouraging support of all things diverse and seeing new things happen for sure. So, and again, just so very grateful for all the love we're getting today too in chat. Man, thanks so much. I think I've got to say it, I think we just hit an all-time high of live viewers And that is amazing. Thanks so much. And we're going to keep at this. We're going to keep delivering good content, make your time here valuable. So thanks so much. All right. So, hey, this was cool. I love this. This next slide is talking about the changes to the marketplace. I thought it made things more clear, made it a lot better so that you know whether you're doing a fixed price or you're doing an auction style sale. I think we're going to see lots more improvements in this, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and this is why me and you got involved in the first place, is transparency is key. As we start onboarding just, the boatload of new players that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, like people are going to get lost. People aren't going to know all the information that we know because we've been in the conversation for a long time. So, making that marketplace fee transparent is important. Giving people the option between that fixed price or the auction, which historically the auction has confused quite a lot of people, is important. And I think we're going to see a lot more streamlining, as you said, as they keep moving out and checking things off their list.
Right. I think one thing people are pretty excited about are offers. We had that in Loom. I think we'll see that again. For me, it's been kind of nice to not have that because sometimes I felt like those got abused. But I do think that they're very useful. Sometimes someone might be putting something up and they might take 10% less, or they might take just a little bit less than what they put it for. And so I think offers are a really good tool to test the market, to test the pricing. And I think that that's very good and useful. So we'll see how long it takes before we get offers again.
And I can't wait.
Hey, this next slide, Odin, he keeps me informed just like clockwork every Tuesday, tells me what the count is. So we capped out, we got maxed out at 100, then 100,000 members of our Discord. Then Discord gave us up to 250,000, and look at this, 34,000. So that's a third of the total possible membership within 1 week. Enjoi.
Yeah, man. I think, what are we going to cap out within by the end of July?
Yeah.
Are we going to be begging Discord for more space?
I don't see any other way around it. I would say, yeah, you're right. Either a month or a month and a half, and I mean, in 1 week we got 34,000, so it's not going to take very long, especially at the growth rate. And we'll hit some slides that show some of that growth rate, and we're going to talk about things. We'll talk about developments that we see as far as with the team and things that have happened with the game, and we don't shy away from topics here. So,
what's crazy about that number is when we started hitting that cap, Odin and some of the other mods in Discord, they trimmed a lot of inactive accounts.
Oh, tons.
They trimmed, like, people who weren't active within like the last couple months got booted. Like, if you weren't actively participating in Discord, you are not in Discord anymore unless you rejoined. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me to think that there's 100,000 people that are, constantly in there, whether they're participating or not. And now we've added that many new people. I don't know, man. Just blows my mind. Yeah, this blows my mind too. Look at this freaking slide.
So this slide has some of the economic numbers, and they are just incredible. So the last day, we're still in USD 3.35 million in a single 24-hour period. Over 7 days, 23.66 million in total volume. And then over the past 30 days, almost 7 million. And we talked about that. Like, that's more, when you add that up, like, we easily get to some of the smaller countries in the world. And I can't remember if we said that on the exclusive side or over here, but like, literally Axie is its own digital nation now. It literally has the volume of the GDP of several of the smaller countries in the world. If this continues for a year, it will be the GDP of many major countries. Not major, but at least, I shouldn't say major, but small countries, maybe is a good way to say it. But it's going to be
actual countries that people like recognize from middle school.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and just to compare it to something a little bit more relevant, the NFT space. We actually were outpacing OpenSea, the marketplace for everything NFTs. Not significantly, but for, quite a few days over the last week, we were outpacing OpenSea. I think that's huge. I don't know about you guys, but that's
massive.
Just shows you how much interest there is in Axie right now, and it also, I think, shows you that it's not just, one of the reasons NBA Top Shots was so popular for a while, or had so much volume, was because they weren't marketing towards traditional like NFT blockchain people. It was people coming from the outside to participate in that marketplace, and that's the same thing we're seeing here.
Yep.
Except I think that the people that could be interested in Axie is a way larger market than the people that could be interested in, one country's sport.
Oh, absolutely. We've talked for a long time about gamers, and for many of us, and I loved. I think it was Jiho's. It was a few people on Twitter talking about, what's the market for Axie Infinity, and for a long time, you and I and others have talked about like when gamers fully adopt Axie Infinity. Well, as we're seeing it, gamers is only one and maybe one small aspect of the actual people who are interested, the audience for Axie Infinity. It actually looks like it's going to be people who play to work, play to literally earn their living.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. I can't believe it, because there's way more people in that category than there are, gamers.
Yeah, and I'll drop a few of our premium chat leaks. Last week we were talking just about the overall size, the overall addressable market that Axie can hit. And most people don't know, but the Philippines in and of itself, remember, we've got like 120, 130,000 daily active users right now. The total population of the Philippines alone, one country, relatively small, which again, there's a lot of reasons for them to look into this, just daily wage aside, is their total population is 110 million people. So we got 110,000. There's 110 million people in that one country that this could address.
Wow.
So yeah, man, it's huge, and we're just touching the very, very edge of it.
Yeah. The people that we figured could directly beat their average income for their countries. What was that number you gave us? I think it started with a B.
I missed.
Wasn't it about 1 billion people that we figured Axie would do better for them?
I mean, there's 7 billion people on the planet, or 8 billion. Man, that number's rising fast too.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many people are unemployed in the U.S. that could get the same sort of benefit out of it? Like,
right?
It's just amazing, man.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. Like, when it's better for a teenager to be playing Axie rather than working at McDonald's for an hour or two a night or whatever. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Future of work, future of play, exciting future of digital nation. So I forgot the meme on that one. I love the meme on that one. Jiho's normal. He's been pulling that a lot, man, and I love it. I absolutely love his hey, this is normal. This is just normal. And that I can't wait for. There's almost a semi leak I said right there. Anyway, we'll stop. We'll go wait. Okay.
So something I can't get over, and I keep thinking about this, is that this team started out and they're like, okay, we're gonna do a CryptoKitties clone. We can do that better. There might be some unique little things we'll add in here and there. And somewhere along the way, it's morphed into this. Hey, we've got this interesting NFT thing we could do. To, hey man, let's change the world instead. Let's move away from this last thing, build on it. You know what? Now we're just going to change the world. Like that whole concept it just blows my mind, and I think that's where he's coming from. Is like their mindset has shifted. It's not just let's dominate, let's sell a bunch of these NFTs. It's
let's change the world.
Let's see what we can really do. Yeah.
Yep. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, so yeah, here we go. Weekly average users, which is, even more challenging to average good numbers over an entire week, but almost 200,000 in the weekly average users. And that was, increasing. I think that we're still quite high. I didn't see the most recent daily average user. The last one I saw was 121K. So if we're seeing weekly average users of 194,000, that's just incredible. New installs over the week, 66,000 new installs. And then this chart from Delphi Digital, I don't know if you saw the tweet that they put out, worth seeing. It was like a 5-part tweet, went through some really good analysis that related to Axie Infinity and the NFT space. But this one just shows very, very clearly, we've talked about that hockey stick kind of look on these charts, and we're definitely in that. The amazing thing is it doesn't look like it's slowing down, and it's going to be fun to see. This is just showing the fees that are coming in from the marketplace and from the breeding fees, and showing the cumulative as well. But we see this in other places as well, total volume and other things. And I'm going to put some of those charts up today. It's just normally we don't talk hardcore about economics. We like to cover the news and talk more about broad aspects and broad concepts, but it just seems like it's very pertinent today, so I had to go into some of the charts. So hopefully you guys are as excited as we are about how good things are going, because it's amazing.
Yeah. And guys, whether you're scholars or long-term investors, this should excite you either way, because the goal of this is for all of us to be investors, right? The goal of us is for all of us to be able to earn access as we go and own a share in the game and the whole economy. And Baronar, can you just flip back real quick?
Yeah,
I know what you're showing here, but if you look at the very end of this chart, you notice that
Yep.
the pink, the breeding fee, is really starting to outpace the marketplace fee.
Oh yeah.
Them adding this whole the whole access piece to the breeding fee completely changed the economics of the entire game. And now what we're seeing, I mean, over the last week, we had 200,000 Axies bred. That's enormous. That's 1/4 of the supply of Axies was bred in the last week since our last Axie Chat.
So cool.
And what that means is that 400,000 Axis is now in the treasury, waiting to be, I mean, not distributed. Some of it's going to be distributed, but basically to be bolstering the price action of Axis.
Absolutely.
Did I say that right?
You did, and the great thing, just bolstering the price action of Axis, but also being able to encourage things within the community, encourage different maybe SDKs, encouraging different content creators, encouraging different experiences, different things like that. So that's all going to be part of what the Treasury is about. I don't want to get too far into that, but if you haven't looked through the roadmap and you don't really understand what Axis is about, as far as the DAO, as far as what's coming, as far as staking rewards, how that's going to interplay with land and all those sorts of things, you got to get into that roadmap. And it doesn't matter whether you're a landowner or a Mystic Axie owner or whatever, or a scholar. Really learn about it and see what's to come, because you're part of it. You're part of something really, really exciting and huge. So those are kind of the same numbers as what we have here, but I just wanted to put exact numbers to what's in the treasury right now. And so we remember the Ethereum portion of it, which is the marketplace fee portion of it, that's not committed to the treasury. The team has not said whether or not that is going to for sure go into the Axis treasury, the community treasury, but the Axis portion is, and we're getting really close. See that number, man? Look at that number. It's got
almost a million. Almost a million.
1 million Axis.
Oh my God! You gotta throw your pinky up there.
1 million Axis. Oh my gosh.
I did see some chat today about whether or not that ETH number was going into the treasury. Just to clarify that, guys, they said that it may or may not until staking becomes available. We don't know just yet if they're using that to pay bills, feed their family, whatever, until staking becomes available. I mean, it'd be great if that also gets dumped in there when that happens. But This company's getting big. Obviously, the servers need to be upgraded and all sorts of stuff needs to happen so that this thing can keep growing. So if that disappears because they're using it for beneficial things, I think we can all agree that that's probably for the best at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still just sitting there right now. I mean, you can physically get to the address and see that it's just there. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with it. If it goes to the team, golly, more power to them. They have done something amazing, and they definitely deserve to be well rewarded. So we'll see. Okay, this next one, yeah, you kind of mentioned this too, but I just wanted to put this slide up. This slide is talking about how quickly we're breeding Axies, which is wonderful. I hope that the pace continues. I do worry that there may be a little bit of an SLP shortage heading our way. I'm not completely sure about that. We'll see. I'm going to put a couple charts up today here on the public stream because I think it's important to talk about these things. We're over 750,000 Axies now, so we're at 776,000 when I took this shot. And the great thing, in my opinion, is we're getting closer and closer to 40,000 Axies for sale on the marketplace. You know, there's some people that get a little bit backed up about that, but not me. I believe high supply is a good thing for the Axie market, because what that means is people are going to have choices. They're going to have choices to get semi-decent Axies that can make it through the dailies and get that stuff done, or they're going to have choices to buy the pures that are going to be more and more expensive over time because of the great mutation system that has been added as well. So there's also other types of Axies that are just hugely rare: Japanese, Christmas parts, mystics, all the different things that are out there. So you know, it's good to have a robust marketplace. It's good to have more and more Axies on the market, especially as we get more and more adoption. I mean, if there aren't enough Axies here and suddenly we end up with an increase of daily active users to the tune of, 50,000 in one day, what are they going to do? They won't be able to do it. They won't be able to acquire enough Axies. And so just reiterating, like I and Coco and many, many others have said, we're not even really getting going until we see 10 million Axies. So let's see how we can get there.
We had
Excuse me.
Jiho on maybe a month or two ago, and he mentioned that his goal for the year was 250,000 daily active users, which, man, we're getting right there. But we kind of estimated at the time that, man, we're going to need at least 1 million Axies to be able to support that. With this kind of growth, you're 100% right. If we have, if CNBC does a coverage, or
Yep.
if there's another whatever, if some news organization picks this up, it'd be pretty easy to pick up another 40,000 users at this point. Especially like we were just talking about, is there's just so many people that could be interested in this, with the right kind of vision.
Yeah. Well, and we see things in chat. These are the things that get me excited. Somebody talking about a Japanese parts only tournament. I want to see a Christmas parts only tournament. I mean, I want to see stuff like this. Like, those are great ideas. A mystic only tournament. Things like that are so awesome. And I know that they are kind of exclusive. I'd like to see 100% pure tournament. Only 100% pure Axies can participate. So, and those can still happen. I mean, that's still possible to get 100% pures. I've gotten a few, not as many as I once felt like I was going to get, but it still can happen. You can still get those pures. So, it's the beginning. It's exciting. And this is all very positive stuff, folks. So, we are on Axie Chat getting all-time highs. And thanks again. I mean, golly, it's just incredible to see the viewer counts. But we're here to continue to grow. That's our passion. Kind of like Jiho says, we're here to win. And by winning, we mean supporting the family, supporting the community, making sure you're getting good content, and we're going to continue to do that. But part of that is talking about really broadening the community, getting a bigger, more diverse community. And so everything we can see that tends to support adoption, tends to support more people being involved in the Axie Infinity universe, we're going to be here. We're going to be supporting it. So let's talk about this next slide. This next slide is that we've been told that we're hoping that the Quest system will be back this week. So that's great news. The Quest system went down, and the truth is, I mean, I already posted my thoughts about it in the main Discord, and that is, there's no way the developers are going to be wanting to admit that they're having server issues related to too much adoption. But that's where we're at, in my opinion. We just simply, we've had this hyper adoption to the point where we need to make sure that the game is able to be played and played correctly. So at least that's my understanding. I mean, have you heard anything else, Enjoi? I know people are interested.
No, I mean, they said that they brought it down because it was causing some of the server issues, right? There was just too much demand. From a technical perspective, and I'm not a very technical person, I'm not a developer, but I question how the quest system would have been affecting the server issues. It seems like a pretty straightforward thing to me. If people are already playing the game, if people are queuing up for arena, people are going through adventure mode, that doesn't seem like the quest system would have been, made things too much more complicated. Max is in chat saying it just increased the number of variables, which is possible.
Yeah.
So I'm a little skeptical. I don't, I can't kind of explain where my skepticism's coming from. I'm glad that it's coming back. I mean, the big reason that this has been an issue is because of all these people who are buying Axies who are expecting to be making a certain daily wage based off of the amount of SLP that they can earn. This has now cut them down, by 50 SLP a day.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so, it's substantial. It's about 1/5 or 1/4 of, people's average, daily earnings. So,
It's a big deal, and that's why I
it,
wanted to talk about it. It is a big deal. I don't know about you, but I think most people experience this. Like when I would go to finish my daily quest and interact with that screen, like it would take time for it to update and give me the correct information. And I'm assuming that every single person that goes to that screen is experiencing that same delay. And to me, that speaks of server load. Otherwise, it would just immediately give me the information. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I hear you. And again, I mean, the important thing is that it's coming back. People were kind of questioning whether or not it would disappear forever. There's been a lot of thoughts about it. So we do have confirmation that it's coming back, and it looks like sooner rather than later. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
the good
Bottom
news.
line. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody be patient. The truth is on this one too, I acknowledge what you've said here, but and it's also important, I think, to remember, like, the reason that these things have value is because there's a community out there, an economy out there that agrees that these things have value. And so it isn't really, the team. If you buy an Axie squad and you've got your team and you're playing, the team has not ever said like you're guaranteed to get X amount of SLP. That's never the deal, and nobody has ever said, hey, SLP is going to be worth X amount. I mean, you and I know we were buying it for less than a penny at one point, right? And now here we are seeing it regularly in the 12 cents to 16 cents, range, week after week after week now. So
Yeah.
I just want to remind everybody, like, yeah, it's important, and yeah, it has an impact, but everybody has got to remember to make wise decisions just in general in their lives. Like, economies can change and things can change. Do I see major changes for the Axie Infinity economy anytime soon? No, other than good, other than up, other than everything's awesome. Things seem to be going well. So, but everybody, please be patient. And I can understand some frustration here, but just be grateful that this exists at all. That there's an opportunity to earn any sort of value in this way, right?
I mean, me and you have talked about it pretty substantially. And, I believe this is not substantiated by the team or anything, but I believe that it's in everybody's best interest that the price of SLP goes up over time, or the amount of SLP earned, that able to be earned on a daily basis goes up over time, so that people are earning more, right? The more people are earning, the more incentive for new people to come in there is. So, I don't see them changing anything substantial there unless it's for the better of the whole community. That's just how this team works. They've been around for several years now, and they've shown time and time again that they're making decisions that are good for people who are already involved.
Correct.
It might make things more expensive potentially in the future, might change the breeding fees, might change, some different variables, but they do have triggers that they can pull that they're playing with, and the goal is for this whole thing to work out for everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. We've used the term protect value. The team seems to very, very wisely do their best to protect value of asset holders. So, all right. Hopefully that makes sense to people. I don't want to get into too in depth of an explanation as to what that means, other than I think that they want a very stable, very count-onable, rising value economy. A couple other projects that I have to shout out. So this one, I don't know how we got to Latin Axie Championship 2 without me knowing about Latin Axie Championship 1. I feel like a moron. So I'm very, very excited about this. Way to go, Latin Axie Championship. Keep it up. I know that there's a great space for Spanish-speaking community members. I love to see that happening. Way to go. I wish I knew more languages so I could participate in kind of the multilingual space, but it is what it is. I'm doing my part as best I can. So appreciate everybody who's making things available, Cuckoo, others who are doing things in other languages that are helping people out that way. Also, man, did you check out this chillaxie.com?
Yeah, man.
Peniston.
I did. I love it. We've got a lot of cool sites out right now. People have made a lot of things, and I think that this is a good way to kind of get a different view of the market and your Axies. And I don't know, it's something that's been missing, and it kind of fills a neat little need. I like checking it now whenever I'm selling something or looking to buy something.
Absolutely. Good job, Amy. Really, really cool. Okay, so these are a few more charts. These are all off of Axie World. Thank you, Axie World. Thank you, Clumsier, for all the work that you do over there. Giving us just some great data. This one is just total volume. So again, the dark is like daily volume, and the what is it? I'm not so good with colors. Tannish,
yellow, gold.
Gold.
Tan works, sure.
The gold is cumulative volume, and so what we see is on the left the total cumulative volume. You see that the 100, 120, 140 million, and then on the right we have it kind of in a daily.
Just to clarify, is this volume of dollar bills? What is
this? Is U.S. dollars. Yep, this is in U.S. dollars. All right. So I mean, it's just incredible to see where we're at, and how, particularly, I wanted to point out, see how the daily really shot up, that daily volume. But man, it has been consistently above 3 million for like a week and a half now. It's incredible how well that is going. We're seeing, again, the two sides don't compare. It's just really neat to see the two charts on top of each other. They don't really correlate directly. But it is awesome to see that cumulative volume starting to come up above the daily volume in a massive way. And if we keep doing this, it's gonna get really profound. I'm excited to see.
Well, I was gonna say, so like since the last peak, right, when we're at like $500,000, now we're up what, 6 times that? Like I'm looking forward to seeing that next 6 times. Like there's just so much potential here. I would not be surprised to see some of these numbers. And again, the reason I'm getting excited about this is because this benefits us all. Even if you don't own Axis at this point, or don't own land, or don't even own Axies, like if you're planning on getting involved some way, most of the Axis earning potential, the ability to earn this AXS that we're talking about, it's not really out there unless you're top of the leaderboard right now. So you will down the line be able to earn a piece of the game by playing. This is why it's so exciting.
Yeah. Wow. We just went over 400 viewers. Gotta thank you guys again. It's just incredible. Again, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing great stuff. Hey, but one thing I wanted to point out, remember at the 40 million amount, I think this is kind of what you were saying, how we were talking about that looked like a hockey stick. Now look at where we're at over 130 million, or right at 130 million, Enjoi. 130 million. Golly, I just absolutely love Axie. What a cool thing this is getting to be, and has been for a long time. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. So this is also in USD. This is the fees. I like this chart because it kind of shows, kind of where the money has come from with respect to the different Axie assets, like how the team has received kind of compensation. The one thing on here is the breeding fees. That would be the access portion. So that's not going to the team. But man, look at that skyrocket. Like you were saying, look at the very, very right side of this slide and just see that breeding fee amount just launch. It's so incredible to see. Just keep breeding those Axies, everybody. I mean, the great thing is, there's a great market for them, and it's continuing to go because our adoption is so high. So, man.
Yeah, and the breeding fees is relatively new, and even marketplace fees. We weren't seeing nearly as much volume before, but the breeding fees just kind of popped out of nowhere. It was just something that they, as far as we're concerned, added on a whim. I'm sure they've been thinking about it for a long time. But right now we've got, 4 different places for income to be coming into at the top of that sheet. We got the pre-sale, the land pre-sale, marketplace fees, breeding fees. I wouldn't be surprised to see another 5 things added to that list that just accelerate that growth even further. There's just so many things that they could add into this that normal games have, that would just go back to the community by adding a little bit of a fee or, whatever, another type of sale, or I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I see lots of different sales potentially in the future, different item packs. There's all sorts of cosmetic things that could happen. I wanted to give a shout out to Urian42. Sorry, guys, we get so into the show that we don't really pay attention to the chat or even what's going on that much, and I apologize if I missed a raid that came in. So, hey, thanks a lot. We really appreciate all the support. Every single little bit we're just so very, very grateful for, and we really appreciate the contributions back that come to us. We're working our tails off, I promise. So thank you. All right, so let's see here. The next one, this one is important, and I just felt like it was absolutely important that we bring this up on the public stream too, and that is the SLP burned versus minted rates. So, hey, it is looking pretty amazing. So I know there's been concerns about high levels of minting versus burning, but I'm telling you, man, it seems like the breeding fee change that they made really, really rectified any concern there might be with respect to too much SLP. I'm going to switch this chart. So this chart just shows it from inception. I'm going to just show kind of since the big spike.
Yeah.
This helps us, I think, see what we have. And yeah, there was a lot of SLP because we were waiting for the Ronin switch over. We were waiting for some of the things to happen that was all being held. So we got that huge 90 million minting day. And then we had one that was, almost 40 million, kind of mid 30 millions. And so, yeah, we kicked this off with a big, huge minting of SLP. But as time has gone on, you can see the burn rate has just tended to increase and increase and increase. And for the most part, it has actually way gone over the minting rate on a daily basis. So I'm really interested to see what happens because we have this 14-day hold period, right? So we can kind of expect that every 2 weeks, there's going to be this kind of spike. At least that's what I thought was going to happen. But it kind of looks like that first spike, and then we had a second spike. You can see that in the middle of the chart. And now we're seeing an increase of minting, but it seems to have more leveled off rather than just being a huge spike. I guess it's still possible we could see a little bit more of a spike, but we're now kind of, I don't know, it seems like we're headed more toward kind of more natural minting of SLP as opposed to huge spikes all at once. But
well, I think the more people... The more people you have playing and the more breeders you have breeding, the more that these things are going to smooth out over time. If you look at something that's traded like the Ethereum chart versus something that isn't traded nearly as much, there's going to be much larger jumps to the thing that's not traded as much. So I mean, similar concept here. We think we've talked about this a lot as well. And before this change, we were concerned that the price of SLP would stay low and not incentivize people to come in. After the change, we were talking about, man, is this going to be too much? Our breeders going to be pissed off. I haven't heard any complaints from breeders about this change. All it's done is just improve the Axie market. Breeders are able to, one, rent out through scholarships, or two, sell for a hefty profit. I don't know. This was just an amazing change all around. It's helped out everybody,
yep.
Which I don't think anybody could have foreseen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Axies are selling well, and so there's not been an issue. I think that actually it looked like maybe it was a protective move because when we first moved over to Ronin, there was a lot of breeding happening right out of the gates. People had held on to a lot of SLP, so they were able to do that. The axis price was still at one axis as opposed to two. And so I think that it was a good move because it did look like Axie prices were coming down, but it immediately corrected that. And now it just seems like we're in a great phase where things are going well. For a while there, there was quite a few people. There were quite a few people who were just kind of smashing floor Axies together and just keep on perpetuating the floor with kind of Axies that I don't know if your mother would be proud of. I guess they're all cute, right? We all say that every Axie's cute, but I don't know. I was looking at some of the floor stuff and I was just like, oh my gosh, why are people doing this? Well, it's because it was profitable. And to be honest, like the energy amount to get to have the next level of energy, the 40 energy, which requires 10 Axies. I mean, it doesn't really matter what Axies those are if you have your team that you like of your three main Axies. So there's still a usefulness to them. I'm not arguing that they're not useful, but I can't imagine that type of just random smashing of Axies together is going to remain profitable for. I don't think that they'll never have a market, or I mean I don't think that it'll be a situation where there won't ever be a market at all. But I can't imagine that those sorts of Axies, until Axie sinks are introduced, until other things happen, like if Axies can be used for vertical upgrades or for land upgrades or something like that, which I anticipate all those things are going to happen. But in the meantime, I would tend to think that the profitability of that particular market is maybe questionable. I don't know. I'm not saying anything super negative at all, though. It still could be. It still be, lots of people need to get 40 energy, so that could be around for a long, long time still. But I have seen some markets that are increasing significantly, and this is a little bit alpha. So we're heading into just a titch of what we talk about more on the premium side, just to give people a hint, I guess, of what we discussed there. But there are some Axies that are going up in value if you're paying attention to the market. So, hey, this was one of them that you wanted us to go back to, and I love the name of this. Have you seen that Between the Ferns thing? I just think that's
yeah, with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought we would do a Between the Shrubs, and we've talked about some of these things a little bit, but so here's some things we need to discuss, like what will happen when we reach the oversupply of Axies, and will the price crash? What do you think about that?
Well, you just kind of alluded to it. There's a lot of different factors. One, I don't think that we're going to reach oversupply in a very long time just because of how many people are coming into the game. Number two, I think, and we've seen this many times before, meta will shift. Breeders will need to breed for the new meta, and people will need to pick up new Axies. So there's going to be demand for different types of Axies over time. And I think that also, along with that, we're going to see new parts moving forward. We've talked about the various levels, right? You've got the Axie part level 1 all the way up to level 4, and there's going to be an evolution system. So we don't know how that works yet, but I have a feeling, and in the past they've talked about branching evolutions, so potentially having the choice between one of two directions with each part, that could add a whole lot more variations into what each part could turn into, which would change how the whole breeding conversation needs to happen. So there's all of that just I think we're going to need floor Axies. We're going to need stuff for people to experiment with and breed with. Right now, if you're on the marketplace, you see the same old plant, you see the same old aqua, you see the same old bird and whatever, beast, the whole rimp thing, just over and over and over and over again. And we're going to have a lot more options. It's going to take people a lot longer to figure out the game later on, so people are going to need to breed around that. And then just like you were just talking about, they've talked about as well this idea of releasing your Axies for some benefit down the road, which would be an Axie sink, as they called it, So something that actually decreases the population of Axies. So lots of different things in the pipeline that could affect, will there still be an oversupply of Axies? Very possibly, but will those Axies all be usable? That's the part that kind of remains to be seen.
Yeah, and the great thing is we know that the team is 10 steps ahead of everybody when it comes to economic concerns and gameplay concerns and all these sorts of things. They really are. I think they're 10 steps ahead of everybody on this issue too. And even if they're not, when we get to the point where we have access staking and there's DAO that's involved, the governance issues, they can make decisions with respect to being more aggressive with rewards for releasing Axies if it becomes important, or if that needs to happen. Like I've said before, it feels like there's 2 Axis right now at the heart of every Axie, so maybe those get returned or something like that at a minimum, if you release those Axies to the wild or something like that. So. All right, so the next one, when will the next land sale be? And I guess I'll hit this one because I end up answering this one at least daily, multiple times per day in the land Discord channel. We don't have a time. In fact, the team has specifically said, Alex specifically has said they don't have it planned. They haven't even talked about planning it. So that gives you a great idea that it is not anytime soon. So I think that a few things need to happen before they can even anticipate a land sale. Really, land play needs to be in place so that we can see exactly how these values turn out for the different plots, for the different types of plots, and to see where all of that lands. Because, we saw the initial chess prices, and I've been a big proponent of keeping ratios closer to those initial chess prices because I have a feeling that that is going to be a direct correlation to what they'll return. But we need some land play for a period of time to sort that out so that we even know what the best idea is for the next sale of land prices going forward. And, there's been enough talked about the advantages of quarter 1 land or quadrant 1 land versus the other quadrants that, do your own research, figure it out, look into it. I think that really the next land sale should not really be something that is such a hot topic. I know people are excited about land, but if you're excited about land, research up on it and figure out what you need to do with respect to land, because the next land sale is not going to be for a while. And then when will the free Axie update be released? Is that what we were talking about above too, or what's that one?
No, I think that's a little. We've done just enough eeny, meeny, miny, mo to come back to me for the hardest one here. This is regarding the whole, free
starter?
Axies, the free starter Axies, the what else did they call it?
Soulbound.
The Soulbound Axies. It's gone by a few different names, but essentially what it is a way for people to get their feet wet in the game without any cost up front. It will potentially have some earning potential, but not nearly as much as if you own your own Axies. So, consider it maybe 5% of the earning potential that you normally get if you had your own Axies. We don't know that information yet. That's just a guess. But the rumor is that you're not going to be able to earn as much, but it will allow you to play the game for free. Really help adoption in that way because it's just broadening the scope. It's allowing people to play the game. As far as when that update will be released, I have a feeling, and this is a really tough one for me to answer. We've got a roadmap. The roadmap says that they're planning on having Battles V2 released in Q2, which is ending in 15 days. I don't know if we're going to make that because I feel like they've got more important things to work on. They've got the server issues. Like, it doesn't make sense to potentially unleash a huge amount of new free-to-play players when current paying players are still having lag and all sorts of other issues. So I have a feeling that first priority right now is get everything ready to scale. Second priority is probably to release the new game mode because why are you going to introduce people to a game that's just going to change 2 months later? It doesn't make sense. It would confuse people. So I think that those are probably the 2 things we're waiting on. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably 2 or 3 months out right now.
Yeah, it's Q3. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting too because they talk about this free to play to earn kind of concept, and they've said it'll be very little, almost nothing with respect to those types of Axies. But the truth is there's already a free to play to earn model in place, and that's with the scholarships. And the only the only thing there is there's a bottleneck because there's more people that
Right.
want those scholarship team positions than there are positions available, and that's just the reality. We've talked about that. Like, does that inherently mean in a free market system that the rate of return to the scholars in those should be less than it is right now? We've probably talked about that quite a bit, but maybe it should be. I tend to basically agree with almost anything Gabby has to say, so I'm gonna shockingly agree with him again. And he basically said anything that isn't any scholarship arrangement that isn't returning at least 60% to the scholars, he doesn't think is great. And I tend to agree with that too. I do think that a 50-50 split could be, somewhat legitimate given the high demand for these teams. I mean, I've literally had people, and I've had to turn off some of my Discord stuff because it's gotten out of
Right.
hand. It's just too much. But people saying, I will take anything, I will take any deal, I will do anything. But then you get some of those people, and I would never do that. But then you get some of those people who got onto that arrangement, got onto that deal, and then they're coming into the Discord complaining about how their manager is handling them. So it's a tough situation. I hope to see more scholarship squad team, whatever, I guess tools or management opportunities or dashboard or something. That would be amazing, I think, and it would be a big boon to the entire community.
Yeah, I think some sort of integrated system, and I don't know what that is yet. And this is just me speculating, but it makes sense that they would build something in that would take away some of this friction, that's currently existing with people looking for scholarships and people having to do all this back end work to manage scholarships. And if people could just come in, select their Axies from a list, and share the rewards. Would be much easier. I'm not saying that's the right solution, but that's another path they could potentially take with this free Axie update. That would resolve a lot of these questions, a lot of these problems, a lot of the people constantly looking for this stuff. Because I mean, the truth is that many people, many of the OGs, myself included, have Axies just sitting around, and I am not running a scholarship right now.
It's a risk.
I wouldn't be opposed to putting them into the system and letting people pick them out and use them for some sort of profit sharing agreement, that I don't have to manage. So a lot of things to consider. I don't see it coming anytime soon. Again, for me, the priority would be to take care of the people that are already playing the game, make sure they have a good experience, make sure they're telling their friends. So yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I don't see it coming anytime soon.
Well, that's a good one, man. Between the Shrubs, I like it. We're keeping that one. We got to keep coming up with good questions on that one. So just wanted to again shout out Axie Night. Thank you, Top Doug, and looking forward to Tucci. I think it's actually Tucci, right, that's doing the new podcast. I think that's what I saw. We'll check in the next slide in just a minute. And then I like this. If you want to see what this one is on the right, go follow FolkX. And check out, he's got a little teaser post. You might want to check that out. So this is a little leak. If you aren't on Twitter following FolkX, you need to check that out. Maybe you can get a little bit more information about what that is. It's Axie Chat related. All right. This one, so this slide that's coming up, I entitled it Stories. There were a couple stories in the Mystic Mountain chat. So this is going to have twofold. First, the story. Bodhi Tree had talked about that his wife had a dream about a whale in a river, and there was a girl named Savannah that was playing with this whale in the river, and she had no idea that he was looking at this Axie. He had invested in BTC, had no idea that he was looking at this thing called Axie, and he's like, "Hun, I'm looking at a Savannah plot." On a river right now. And so he actually ended up buying that particular plot kind of based on his wife's dream that she had. And then he ended up buying a Mystic actually 720 Way cool. So, and then the next one was Bart, and he had a story too that was really cool about that he wasn't going to get involved in this unless his wife really liked it and she saw how cute they were, and she was like, "We're all in. You're doing this." So these stories are amazing. One of the cool things about having some of these rare assets that I love to see in the NFT space, Enjoi, is that it can give you access to certain chats and certain access that you can't otherwise get if you don't have and I know
Oh man, I didn't even. You're leaking something big right now. I've alluded to it in the past. I don't know if we've actually seen snapshots of this outside of the mountain. This is big, guys.
this is a leak.
This is a leak.
Yep.
Go
So
on, go on. You can.
no, I mean this is part of our way of doing Axie Chat on the back end too. There are other NFT spaces. This is not something new. It's something we've seen and seen it modeled, and we thought made a lot of sense. And so, this is actually, I expect that Axie is going to continue to take some of these things and use this sort of modeling to help reward in different ways some of the scarce assets. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a Christmas parts group or a Japanese parts group, or I'm just saying, I don't know, and I can't make any promises for that. But this is kind of the cool thing. This is kind of like one of these cool perks that you get with some of ownership of some of these scarce assets. So pretty cool. Couple of artists that I had to shout out this week. I just love these two pieces. Particularly, I love all the artists, so
Oh, that's awesome.
sometimes I hate to just single out a couple, but this one was Pistachio Blue Bear with a great cactus plant Axie. Just absolutely loved the rendering here. It looks like we have Japanese part ears, so wanted to shout that one out too. And then
And eyes.
Oh, and eyes, right? That's right. That's not just Kataro. Is that a?
No, I think those are Japanese. But anyways,
Japanese
move
one?
on before
Okay.
somebody calls me out and proves me wrong.
It's all good, man. And then
there's too much information to remember in this niche, guys. Axie's just too big. I can't remember it all the time.
so the Eam one I love too. This Twitter background. Man, it just fun. Gives a different. I love seeing different styles, different approaches to the artistry. So Eam something, loved it. Good job. Just absolutely love it. All right. And then wanted to throw a shout out to a few projects we see here. First of all, one's just from the team. You'd alluded to it earlier, and that's this Axi Creator Bible. That is just available to people. In fact, I think they just linked it on their Twitter, right? Or it was in announcements. So people can check this out. If you're interested in becoming a content creator, this is a great place to start. I absolutely love what they're doing here, giving a good context for it.
Yeah, I mean, not only that either. Feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to some of the other content creators. Again, we just want to see the space grow, and happy to share what we've learned along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then this Untroubled Existence, and I can't remember for sure, but I haven't read it. I haven't listened to it yet. That's on my list to do right away. So I'll be listening to this. I saw Britt and BA posting about how they maybe had inspired this podcast to happen. So I'm really excited to listen to this podcast. Untroubled Existence has like 40 episodes, but this is their first Axie Infinity episode. So they may be a lot more polished than us. I guess we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to listen to it. And then a couple of projects that I'm not really prepared to say anything about just yet, but I really wanted to shout out these people that are working hard in the background on projects, secret projects that hopefully more people will learn about over time. And that's Ratchus and Explorer. They're two awesome founders of Axie Chat too. Glad to have you in our program there as well. So excited to hopefully be able to announce more about their projects in the future. Dude, when do we say a digital nation has risen? But
I think we need a billion players. No.
okay, billion players. All right, I got it. Makes sense.
I'm just shouting out perfectly reasonable targets.
I love it,
That's
man.
all I'm doing. I
Let's
don't know.
let's say 10 million.
10 million
10,
daily
10
active users.
Yep. When we hit
All
10
right.
million, we'll say we are full-fledged digital nation.
We have risen. Got it.
It will happen. It will happen. All right. Hey, juice this up, June. It's been a great month. It's just been incredible. I mean, in addition to just hitting incredible all-time highs, just constantly massive marketplace, things just happening great with Axie. They've still been hitting us with news, marketplace updates. There's stuff. We're going to get the daily quest back soon. It sounds like. I think we're going to see some other things dropping pretty soon. I hope a deck's really soon. What do you think comes soon, Enjoi?
Yeah, I'm looking out for that Dex as well. I think that's going to be key for a lot of things. Again, going back to the roadmap, that Origin Alpha, that Battles V2 already has a check mark next to it. So, I mean, we got 15 days left. I don't know. It's feeling, again, it feels like they still have some work to do on the server side of things, but maybe that's been getting better. Obviously we'll see the everybody's asking in chat about the daily quest coming back. So, that's definitely up on the roadmap. But yeah, man, there's a lot coming up. And then Q3 we've got Axis staking as well. So, it's definitely not going to be a quiet couple of months. Not going to be a quiet summer.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So, everybody hang in. Just a reminder, we do the exclusive stream that's coming up next for people who have the access pass, the all access Axie Chat pass, and wanted to remind people we're actually down to 46 founders passes left. I mean, they are getting eaten up. So if you want to reserve your spot in our kind of founders group, we'd love to have you. All right, so thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks so much for the love. Anybody who rated us, hosted us, anything, we really appreciate it very much. We created this stream, we created this podcast, whatever we want to call it, this show, with what platform was available to us, right? We're not like Twitch streamers who decided to do Axie Chat. We're Axie Chatters who decided to create a show. So if I violate Twitch etiquette, it's just because I'm a Gen Xer who just doesn't give a crap.
He's old.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah.
Guys, thanks a lot. Again, we're heading to the private show. Stick around if you're not heading to that. Tucci 2001 is going to be wrapping up tonight. He'll be keeping the party going. So stick around. We'll raid him real quick. Everybody who's new, thanks for coming out. We do this every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, we got streamers starting at 7 and keeping the show rolling. So we try and make a big party out of it. But definitely come back, hang out again. And you know what? Feel free to make suggestions. Throw them out during the week. If you have questions, send them our way. We want to make sure we're covering all that stuff and really keeping people informed and in the know. So thanks again. Take care, everybody.
Hey, so much love. Everybody, Axie hard. Freaking have a great night in Lunacia. We'll see you next week. I hope we have Enjoi next week, or I hope he has a baby and everything's great. Either way, Axie Chat will be happening next week, and we look forward to seeing you. Take care, everybody.